Hi, welcome to another lesson. In our last lesson, we talked about user routing. This time, we are going to look at the item routing. On the item routing, which serves as our product, we are going to have the verbs for get items. We should be able to post items. We should also be able to update existing items. We should get by ID, get a single item, and we should be able to delete item. So let's start. The first thing we are going to do is to import the required dependencies. The first thing we are going to import is Express. Export Express is equal to require Express. Require Express. Then we will also import our items. Item is equal to require the item model slash item. Then we create our router from the Express constant router is equal to new Express dot router. Okay, so now to fetch all items, we are going to do router dot get. When you do slash items, this is you want to get all items, comma, then we create an asynchronous function, synchronous arrow function, that will take request and response. What this will do is to get the items, constant items equal to await the item we imported dot find. No, you want it to be returned as an object, and then we're supposed to put this into a try cache so that in case there's any error, we can easily cache the error and return it in our response. So if we get records then response dot send. Response dot send, or we do status at first. Response dot status is 200, that is okay. Dot send the items, and otherwise, that is, if there is any error, we cache the error, we log the error, and then we also return the error. So let me copy this. Status will be 400, that is not found, and send the error rather than the items. Send the error. That is to get all items. Let us do post so that we can test out our routers. Let us do post. So we are going to copy this, paste it down here, and then post an item, post item. Then in this case, this will be a new item. At least we want to post new item. Let's make it new item is equal to new item. Let's do this, clear the content, and create a fresh try cache. Okay, so constant new item is equal to new, the item we import up there, take it as an object, and then whatever that is in the request, we destruct is, we are going to be using spread operator. If you don't know about spread operator, you can look for one of our JavaScript tutorial. You get the about spread operator. Okay, then we are spreading it, and I remember that we have in our item, we have the owner that must exist inside the user table. Maybe we should leave that out for now and let it create that later on, so that we can be able to post things into our product without specifying an existing user or login. So back here, we just get whatever that is in the response body and post. So after posting this, there's no need for comma. Then we put it inside a new item, and then we await new item dot save save the item into the DB and return a response dot status. Let me see the one I copy. Response dot status is equal to 201 is created, and then you send the new item back in there. Then otherwise, if there is any error, we log the error and send out 400 with the error. But this time around, let us customize what we are sending out by putting it inside message, and then we pass the error as an object. Okay, so we get message and pass in the error into the post. Now if we want to get item by ID, get by ID, I'm going to copy the get once again, paste it down here. This time around the get will be items slash ID, then asynchronous rest. So the item is not going to be items now, it's going to be a single item, and then we are item dot find one, like I explained yesterday. Find one by the ID, say underscore ID, and then request dot params, parameter dot ID. So we get the request parameter. The ID is going to be passed as a parameter, and we get that. Then after getting the item, we check if not found the item, if not item, then we return a 400 item not found. We send a message, we call it error, and pass our message in the error, which is item not found. We make it an object, so it's going to display as an error. Otherwise, it's going to be response and then 200, okay, and send out the item. That is to get a single record. Fetch an item. Let's put the message here. Fetch an item. This is to post an item. This is fetch all items. Okay, then since we can get an item now, we can now begin to look at how do we update an item and delete an item before we export our module. Then let's go and copy the one of get by ID, paste down here, and put it there. This is now we have patch, we have put. So let us use patch. So items by ID, and then we call, let us call this updates. Is equal to, this is not going to be a parameter, this is going to be object dot keys in our request dot body, and then we create the items. What are the columns that we want to update for that record? You cannot update everything, so we call this allowed updates. What are the columns that is allowed to be updated? Then we bring in those columns. We can update the name of the product, we can update the description, we can update the category, we can change category of a product, and we can change the price. If we have user, the other time you cannot change the user of a product. The user will always be constant. Okay, so we check for the update. Let's create constant if it is valid operation. It's valid operation. What is the operation? Updates dot every update. Let us not confuse ourselves. Let's make these updates. I change the updates so that on every update valid is equal to, on every updates of update is an arrow function. Allowed updates dot includes updates. Then we close the bracket. So updates of every update, this we are supposed to be creating a function, an arrow function inside every, okay, that will look for the update. So if it is a valid operation, or let's say if it is not a valid operation, then return 400 and say invalid update. Say invalid update. Otherwise, we can now begin every other thing by trying to find that. Okay, so now let me move the try out of the check-ins. Let the try be here. Let me cut it. Okay, so it is after this that we want to try to save. That was just to check if the update is part of what is allowed to be edited. We are not going to be allowing everything to be edited. So now constant item that we want to update now is equal to the item dot find one. I'm going to find one just as we use it up there. It's going to be underscore id. That will be the request dot params dot id. So if not item, if not item, if you do not get any item, if you did not get any item, then return 400. And then send. Just allow it this time around to just send the error. Otherwise, then we update for each. So updates dot for each, then we create our update. Let's create a function here that would be type. So here put in our updates for each item, then item update, that is for that particular item, that is equal to what is in the request dot body with the update. Remember, what are we doing here? We are taking what is inside our update, which is name, description, category, and price. We're only taking all that and update each of them. Then we take it into our update and we save that. So now come here and say item dot save. But we have to await that because we are inside an asynchronous. Await item dot save and then send the item. Otherwise, catch the error and send. Now to delete an item. If we want to delete an item, let me see if we see how this can make use of this. we'll say delete. Let me format the document so that everything will be aligned here. Router.delete. So we get the ID of whatever we're deleting as synchronous, and then we try to get the item to delete. Delete item is equal to await find one and delete is what we're going to use now. Item dot find one and delete. We can make use of any one. We can find by ID and delete, whichever one we want to use. So we get the ID and the parameter ID and delete that. So if you find the delete item, and if you could not find the item to be deleted, then return the error item not found. Otherwise, send 200 and the deleted item. Then if there is any error, cache the error and return the error. Then the next thing for us is to export the module. Module.export is equal to router. Okay, now if we are to text this, at least we've been working, let us test what was done so far. All right, let us start our mongodb. I'm going to open command prompt and type mongodb. So okay, started. Then we start the application. Come to npm run dev. Starting it using the nodemon, and that is started. If we go to our browser now and type localhost 4005, remember we get welcome to NodeCommerce API, so which means it's working. But the first thing we need to do for us to be able to make use of the models and the router, we need to add them into our app.js, which is the starting point of the application. Now we need to add to the app.use. Let's come right here and say do it here. Then app.use express .json, so that because we are going to be returning our responses in JSON formats, then we import our routers. Now constant user router is equal to require to quote /router. Okay, we don't need to dot. You can just say /cdb routers /user. That is for user. Let me copy this since we have 4 items. Oh, we may have anyway. We'll comment it so that if you're having issue with any of the routers. The next one is item. Item router will be item, the cart router. This will be cart, then order router. This will be order. But what we're going to do for now, we've not put anything inside our cart router, our order router. So we're going to comment them out so that we have nothing to bother about them, whether the application will return an error or not. Okay, so now we have imported our user router, we imported our item router. We are not doing anything with the user for now, but let's go ahead and use the item for us to test. So here app.use item router. So that is how we are going to do for others when they are ready. So now if we go to our mongodb, do we have the database? Yeah, we have it now. NodeCommerce. Because you can see we have items and users. Those are the ones we have imported. So we have items table now, but no record. Then we have users table, no record. By the time we begin to insert records, we are going to have records for them. Now let me start the postman. Postman is used, it can be used to access APIs. So now how do we access our routers? For instance, for the items, the one of get items, fetch all items, the API will be localhost column 4500 slash items using a get method. This will go on and fetch all items for us. Okay, now the postman is ready. The first thing we do is to click on new HTTP. Then you can see, so we can rename this to be whatever we want it to be. But let's see, what are we going to do at first? We put here local host column 1500 slash items. We look at what we are looking for, slash items, and then this is get. You can see it giving us that as the name. Then get localhost 4500 items. When you click on send, it returns empty because you don't have any record for now. Now if we want to do post, we can create a new HTTP and say this is localhost items and change the get to be post And then what are we posting? We can come here into the body. We are sending a raw data, and that data is going to be in JSON format. Now we now put our object here. What are the things we want to be sending into the items? Let's look at the model. In the model, we have name, description, category, and price. So that is what we are sending, we are posting. In our postman, we come right here and put the item name, shoes, description, fancy shoes, category, fashion, price 1000. If we send this, we get back that product and the ID created at and updated at, because that is exactly what we are doing in our route. Let us look at how we did the post. This is it, post items. We get the new item by whatever you put in the body with this, put it using spread operator, and then we save that and return that item. So the 201 status report, we can see that here, which is what created. So if we go to mongodb compass now, our item table, we have record. You can see that record now, it is there. So this is how we save items. And then if we now go back to our get, this one that returns empty the other time, send again. Now we have record in array of objects. So if we are to post another record, we can come to this place, change what we are sending. Let's say this time around I want to create shirt, and yes, it is a fancy shirt as well, and it's under fashion. This time around the price is 2000, and then we send. You can see we get back the fancy shirt and the price, the ID they created at. If we come right here to get all the items, we have the first one, which is shoes, and you can see a comma here. The second one, which is fancy shirts. So this is how we work with our item. Now in the next lesson, we are going to be looking at the cart and the order. Thank you.